Hi everyone, Stephen Aitchison here with another episode for this Facebook page. So we've got another daily show, and today we're going to be talking about beliefs. And so, good morning everybody. I hope you're having a brilliant day, and I'm just going to have a wee sip of my coffee. Oh, there's loads of wee hearts in that flying about, excellent. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about your beliefs, and I think we've spoke about beliefs before, but I've never really told you why they're kind of really important. I've never given you the kind of context of why your beliefs are so important. And I wanted to kind of explain that today and just kind of get your thoughts on it as well. Your beliefs govern every single thing you do in your life. And I mean every single thing that you do. From the relationships that you have, to the house you choose, to the job you choose, to the business, to the books you read. Just every single area of your life is governed by your beliefs, which is quite amazing. And also, a lot of people don't know that they can actually change their beliefs about themselves in particular. And I believe that's what we should be doing first of all. We should be changing the beliefs that we have about ourselves before we go out into the world and kind of try and change the world. That's what I'm trying to do, change the world one kind of person at a time. And I love doing it. And I know I'm not going to change 7.6 billion people in the world, but I'd love to help people believe in themselves more and have that belief and have that confidence, and it would just be fantastic to help as many people as possible. And that's what I'm doing kind of in business and in personal development as well. So your beliefs, believe it or not, most of your beliefs that you hold just now are formed by the age of 7 years old, which is mental. If you think about it, most of the beliefs that you have just now, you may not believe that, ironically enough, you may not believe that, but it's true. Psychologically, your beliefs, most of them are formed by the age of 7 years old. Now, why is that? Why would they be formed by the age of 7 years old? Well, we have what we call brainwave patterns, and we've all kind of, brains are kind of going an activity of different kind of hertz or frequencies. So from the ages of about 0, say up to 3 years old, you're in what's called a delta state of mind. And that's whereby it's a kind of really deep state of mind. You can only feel kind of certain things and kind of aware of certain things as well. So it's like you've been in a kind of deep sleep. And then from the ages of up to about 7 years old, you're in what's called a theta state of mind. And that's where rapid learning occurs. That's why children absorb so much information. That's why they can work the remote control or work an iPad better than us, because they're in this rapid learning stage. And it's because the brain waves are in this theta state of mind. It's because the brain waves are just kind of oscillating at that theta state. And then as we get older, we're in the alpha state and we're in the beta state as well. So there's 4 main states. There's lots more, but there's 4 main states. So we form most of our beliefs by the age of 7 because we're in this theta state. And it's kind of incredible to kind of realise that we carry the beliefs that we had from 7 years old right up until now. As us, as adults, we're carrying the beliefs that we've held from 7 years old. Now, what that means is our beliefs are kind of outdated, because as a 7-year-old, you can't even conceptualise what a belief is. You can't even imagine how important your beliefs are. And a lot of adults don't really kind of think about their beliefs and what beliefs they have about themselves and what beliefs they have about the world round about them. So imagine then if you're kind of it kind of explains a lot about why we are the way we are today. If you think about it, the beliefs that we've held from when you're 7 years old, and we kind of get our beliefs from lots of different people, our parents, our kind of teachers, our peers, the media, the kind of internet now that a lot of children are kind of using as well. And somebody had asked me a question: why are some people bad, some people are good? Again, that kind of goes back to your childhood. And if we think about it, if we take an extreme example, so say for example you've got a young boy and a young girl who are just kind of grown up. They're in this theta state of mind from the ages of 3 to 7 years old, and they see their father or their mother, it doesn't matter, they see their father or their mother kind of abusing their mother. Say they see the father abusing the mother. And I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, emotionally and financially. They see this kind of pattern, and they kind of hear the the abuse that the father gives verbally as well to the mother. Now, a young boy kind of grown up and seen that when they're younger, they might start to believe this is how all men are. So say their uncles might be like that as well. It's just kind of like that in the family. They might start to believe that's what men are like. So they form this belief by the age of 7 years old. Men are just domineering, and they've got this kind of abusive kind of nature in them. Obviously that's not true, but if you're grown up in that world, this might become your life. And as you grow up into adulthood, that pattern might go through your whole life, and you might grow up to be the same type of person. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to everybody, because it can happen the other way about. Because what can happen is, when you're a young child, you say, okay, I'm never going to treat my girlfriend like that, I'm never going to treat my wife like that when I'm older, and they form that belief. But it could be that they form the belief that this is how men are, and they treat their girlfriends and their kind of partners like that as well when they're older. So there's a theme that goes throughout your life, and it could be the same with kind of finances as well. If you've always been told that money doesn't grow on trees, you've heard all that kind of stuff before, and that we don't have enough money, we're poor. If you have that poor consciousness, you're going to grow up, that's going to carry on into your adulthood as well. So talking about the kind of extreme example there about the kind of young boy growing up, imagine the young girl growing up as well. She might then believe that that's how women are, they're subservient to men. And she grows up to she seeks out kind of partners who are kind of almost, she doesn't seek out consciously, she seeks out partners who are abusive, or she attracts partners like that as well, because of the beliefs she has within herself. And that's why my wife kind of works in that field where she deals with abused women and children. And there's a lot of studies kind of being done on this. And I always ask the question, why would a woman stay with a man who kind of abused them verbally, emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially as well? Why would a woman stay in that kind of household if they could just leave? And my wife, she's told me a lot of things about this, and I've read a lot about it as well. And she kind of told me, well, some women just love their partners that much, and they believe that they're going to change, that they stay with them. Others are kind of frightened of nowhere to go, so they can't go anywhere else and they feel trapped. Others have just been degraded so much in their life that they just don't believe they have any self-worth at all. So their beliefs have been knocked down so low that they just don't think they can go anywhere else, and they don't think they deserve any other type of love than the love they're getting from that abusive partner, which is horrible to think. And it's horrible to think there are kind of men like that in the world, and obviously women as well, to a lesser degree. There's women who are very abusive towards their partners as well, and that's not spoken about as much, but it's coming more and more to the fore. But that's an extreme example. But you can see how our beliefs kind of shape our whole life. And once you become aware of your beliefs, then that's when you can start to change them. So if you have the belief that you're not self-confident, again, we've spoke about this before, that you're not a self-confident person and you're not worthy of kind of being a confident person, if you become aware of that, then you can start to change that bit by bit by bit, just exactly how your beliefs are formed. All your beliefs are formed bit by bit by bit. So it's like building a house. You build one brick at a time, and that's how your beliefs are formed as well. Well, you can break down those old limiting beliefs by taking a brick down at a time. And it doesn't necessarily have to take that long. It doesn't have to take years to change kind of beliefs. But the first step is in looking at your beliefs and seeing what your beliefs are about yourself. And then when you do that, you ask yourself the question, well, what beliefs would I love to hold about myself? I'm just looking at the questions here. I forgot to ask if you could hear me loud and clear, but I do believe you can hear me okay, because I would have got a lot of messages. Yeah, there's people, obviously you can hear me okay, that's fine. So yeah, you can take away your limiting beliefs, but one brick at a time. but it doesn't necessarily have to take years to start forming new beliefs. So you ask yourself the question, okay, what beliefs would I like to hold about myself? And I asked this years ago, and the beliefs I wanted to hold about myself when I was, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, I now believe about myself. Like, I didn't believe I was an intelligent person because of what happened when I was younger at school. And I've told that story before, whereby I had a hearing problem. I'll very quickly go through it. I had a hearing problem, and the teachers didn't know this. My mum and dad didn't know this at the time as well, but I was slowly getting deaf, going deaf, and it was because I had something called glue ear and I had to get grommets put in my ear. But before that, the teachers thought there was something wrong with me, and they wanted to send me to a special school for people with learning disabilities. And so they kind of brought my mum and dad up, and they kind of spoke about this, I think, about sending me to a special school, and obviously my mum and dad were totally against that. But then my mum discovered that I had hearing problems, and my hearing was getting worse and worse and worse, and it was kind of exponentially getting worse. And when she discovered that, and I went for an operation, got grommets put in my ear, then I could kind of suddenly hear. It was fantastic. But what I'd done is I'd learned to compensate and started to lip read. But if I couldn't see the teacher's lips moving, then obviously I wouldn't be able to learn, and I couldn't lip read her lips as well. So they thought I had kind of learning difficulties. So as soon as I could hear the teacher again, I could start learning, absorb the information, and everything went kind of hunky-dory after that. There was no more talk of special schools and stuff. But I still had that belief that I wasn't intelligent, because the teachers had put on the report cards, the teachers had told my parents, and everybody thought there was kind of something wrong with me. And I'd heard this, obviously, and I'd kind of took this information in, because I was 5, 6, 7 years old at the time, and I absorbed all this information that I wasn't intelligent, and I carried that right through to almost adulthood. And then I suddenly turned it around and said, well, here I'm passing exams at school here, I'm kind of interested in lots of books, I'm interested in lots of different topics, I just wanted as much information about the world as possible, and I was a voracious learner, and I just wanted to learn everything. And then I suddenly had the thought, but actually I am intelligent, and that kind of proves I'm intelligent. So I looked at everything that I'd done in the past that proved I was intelligent, and that started to change the belief that I wasn't intelligent to go on to form the belief that I am intelligent. And I am intelligent. I'm not super high Q intelligent, but I'm intelligent. And so is everybody else. But a lot of people don't believe that, and that's just one example from my life. But it took a while to kind of change that. But now that I know the process of changing beliefs, if I find a limiting belief, if I come across a limiting belief, then I can change that quite rapidly. And I've got a kind of program called PositiveLifeAffirmations.net. I've got programs to do that for kind of affirmations that change your kind of beliefs rapidly. And we've got these kind of brainwave patterns that change your brainwaves to go from kind of alpha beta state to a theta state, so you can assimilate all this information in your brain, so it goes straight to your subconscious mind. And I'll put a link down below, but that's why I wrote that program, because I wanted everybody else to have the same beliefs or empower themselves with the beliefs that they want to have in themselves. And you can do that as well. Everybody can do it. And it's amazing to think there's some great work being done by Dr. Bruce Lipton. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's written a fantastic book called The Biology of Belief, and he talks about how our beliefs actually affect the cells in our body. Your beliefs affect you at a cellular level. And when you see all the research that's been done and everything in the book that Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about, it blows your mind of what we're actually capable of and what we can train our minds and our bodies to achieve once we start believing in ourselves. And it's unbelievable. And if you're going to read kind of books like that, I would definitely recommend that book. It's an amazing book. But you have to be ready for that information. You might read it once and think, oh, okay, that's fine. But when you're ready for the information and you want to change, that's when the book becomes really, really valuable. Because as you know, you can read a book once. I've read Think and Grow Rich, 10, 15 times, and I get something different from it every single time I read it. So I read it all the time. I've got about 3 copies of it lying around the house, and I just love it because I get because as we're growing as people, the books that we read kind of change as well. The information is assimilated in a different way. So we take in the information in a different way as we get older. That's why it's good. You can read a book once for the rest of your life and you keep on reading it and you get different information all the time. So it's brilliant for that. So if you've got a favourite book, go back and read it again. You'll get different information. It's great. So our beliefs, recognise what your beliefs are about yourself. And then ask yourselves, okay, what beliefs would I like to have about myself? And then start to find evidence to prove that belief. So, for example, if you want to believe you're intelligent, find examples from your past to prove you're intelligent. You passed exams at school, you passed exams, say, for your driving test. For example, you've gone on to university, that proves you're intelligent. You've got a lot of intelligence there to get into university and stuff like that. So when you find that evidence, that starts to kind of turn the old belief that you're not intelligent into molten. I kind of said this before as well, but it turns it molten and it kind of drifts away, and then the new belief forms on top of it. Because there's a thing called cognitive. One belief saying you are intelligent, you can't hold another belief to say you're not intelligent. So it's one or the other that kind of wins out, and it's usually the stronger one that wins. And the one that's from your childhood will probably almost win. But when you know how to change your beliefs, everything kind of changes. And that's why I'd love to share with you, just to get you to think about it and get you to think about what beliefs you do have. So how do you uncover the beliefs that you do have just now? How do you go about that process? Well, you think about where you are just now. So say, for example, you ask yourself why you're in the job you're in just now. Why did you take that job? Was it because you didn't believe you could do any better? Or what was the reason for taking that job? That's just as an example. What's the reason you're in this relationship you're in just now, if you're in a relationship? What is the reason you've got the friends you've got just now? Really would love to do as a job, for example. And then when you say, okay, I'd love to do this job, write that down. If you write on the top of a piece of paper, what job I would love to do, and then you write down the job and say, okay, what beliefs would I need to hold about myself to get that job? And when you write down all the beliefs that you need to hold about yourself, then you work on each belief one at a time, and then steadily and slowly you'll start to change your beliefs about yourself. So that's a dog barking in the background, and I'm getting a delivery just now. So I'm going to have to go just now. I think I'm getting a delivery at the door, which is not good timing at all. So with that, I'll leave you just now. I'll put a link down below and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Right, take care. Bye now.